Welcome back into my basement garden, which is a wonderful place to garden on a hot day like today. Apologies, the basement garden is in the laundry room, and we are currently doing laundry. So, sorry about the noise. Wanted to show you a little update of how the new hydroponic tower is going. And we have one lettuce plant left, and the rest of them have all... I think that's a pea, but all the other lettuces have died. And like you can see, we've got this Tranchuta kale, the cabbage-like kale. Huge, beautiful, gorgeous. And we've got some, I think this is like a blue scotch kale, probably, because it's curly and it's bluish. And that's also, you know, it's doing fine. And I even have way over here some miner's lettuce that is okay. I think it does better outside. But mostly what we have in this tower at the moment is we have tomatoes. So now that this has been running for a few months, I can definitely see like where the problem areas are, and definitely the stuff in the back, because we have another row of pipes back there. They don't get a lot of the sun. They don't get a lot of the light. So I have it pretty much just kale back there. So it's like trucking along. But it's not nearly as happy as the other stuff. And also, the reason why I think most of this lettuce died is because this angle is so steep that it doesn't hold water in it. So whatever their roots can get into, they can access. But like... I think they just ended up not having constant enough access to water. So I think that's the problem. Oh my goodness, there's so many flies in here. I gotta get my fly traps out. So, the next solution is I'm going to make it so that it's more level, so it has a bank of water instead of just a stream of water. And that hopefully next month I'm going to start gathering the supplies to update the system. The other thing is I think these holes are too close together. This system is built out of an old like Vevor like tray with just flat levels, and I think they try to sucker you in with 122 holes or 90 holes or whatever this was. Like that's how many spaces you have to grow plants. But they're not going to be super happy. So I think, at least for the size of the pipes, these holes are too close together. So next time, I'll space the holes out a bit more. So space the holes out a bit more and try to work it so that we don't have something in the shade, and try to work it so that this is flatter so that it holds the water. And I think that solves a lot of the problems. And then the final problem up here with the tomatoes, and that is that these are like bush tomatoes, so they don't need staking, but because as soon as they get any like fruit on them, they get really heavy, they've all flopped over. So next time around, I'm gonna make sure that we have a system to trellis it. The current problem that I have, and this is just unique to our location, is that above this trellis, above this tower, I don't have any ceiling to hook into. We are in the basement, so one of the systems is on a 15-minute on, 15-minute off cycle, and it just kicked on, so even more noise. But one of the perks of doing a basement garden is that usually you have access to the ceiling, but here we don't. We've got lots of vent work, so when I build something, I'm going to build something that I can attach a string just to hold up the tomatoes, and also be able to attach my light above it. So right now we're next to it, which does work well for the light spill, but next system we're going to have a place to attach lights and trellises. But we do have lots of little tomatoes, which previously when I grew tomatoes in I think I grew them in my Mars Hydro system. They didn't taste very good. So back then I wasn't using any CalMag or anything. I was just using AeroGarden fertilizer stuff, and it didn't taste very good. Now, that one's actually pretty nice. They're okay. I don't think I'm a super big fan, but it might just be the variety. So these are, I think they're, okay, so I have a Tom Thumb and a Tiny Tim, and one of those is a tomato and one of those is a pea. So whichever one is the tomato is the kind this is. That is the current state of the tower that I built out of an old flat system. It also leaks a little bit. So definitely going to upgrade this. That's one of the reasons why I haven't resown any of the lettuce in here. It's because I know I'm going to redo this soon. We do have one lettuce. We do have one lettuce in this system still. And I've got a few outside. So I think we're just going to hold off on adding anything to this. And then we'll redo it. I don't know, hopefully in the next few months. So stay tuned for that. As far as the buckets go, you're not really going to be able to see that. But underneath here, I have a mint. And this one that's kind of buried. I just took a cutting from the chocolate mint that I have outside so that we should be able to have some mint tea even in winter. I think I tried sowing both, maybe a green acres cabbage and the Tranchuta kale. This is looking more like the Tranchuta kale because of how brown the leaves are. So I think that this is going to be the Tranchuta kale. It tastes like cabbage and you can use it like cabbage. So it's not actually cabbage, but there's something vaguely cabbagey in this bucket because I'm curious. I was initially curious if I grew a head of cabbage, how many times could I get it to regrow? Because if you grow it outside, I usually twist the head off, leaving the bottom leaves, and then I get at least I get another harvest of cabbages after that, and it regrows. So here we have a purple sprouting broccoli, and then this is our 1,000 head kale. Is the one that has a really, really big leaf, because the bigger the leaf is, the less you have to clean little tiny scraps of leaf off of stems. So it's just easier to cook with big leaves. So this is the state of the newer hydroponic stuff. So let's look at now here. This tomato, it was super big and bushy yesterday, and then I came in and I attacked it because I initially didn't prune it at all because I thought that it was a bush tomato. I thought it was. I need to learn how to say the name of this. I don't remember, but it's a New Zealand tomato, and it's not that. So I think this has got to be a cherry tomato of some type. So it was getting big and bushy, and it would set flowers, and even if I gave the flowers a little pollination, they would still wither and die, and nothing came of it. So I went a little hardcore because I don't care if it lives or dies because it's not giving me anything. So I'm happy to just replace it with something if this doesn't help. But I trimmed it down to one very sad stem because a lot of the leaves were also very sad. So this is my sad tomato, which I thought that I took all of the things off that I pruned, but apparently I left some behind. But we've got a big, beautiful purple sprouting broccoli next to it. So hopefully we'll be getting some big, beautiful purple sprouting broccoli in the basement, maybe this winter, and that'll be great. I think I need to look into this. I don't remember this being quite so crispy yesterday. So it's either getting too much or not enough of something. But ignore the crispiness of the cucumbers. This cucumber is a Bait Alpha cucumber, which I had ordered because I came up when I was looking for a greenhouse style cucumber, and so I don't have to pollinate it by hand. But it set lots of flowers, and it set lots of the female flowers, and none of them set fruit until I started hand pollinating. So that's what I do in the morning is I come down and I check for any new female fruit flowers, and then I hand pollinate them. This is a male flower. I'm going to just steal this real quick. So you can tell that this is a male flower because if you look at the base, it just goes straight into the stem. Whereas over here, this is the female flower that I pollinated yesterday. And it looks like it's got a little tiny pickle. It's a little mini cucumber behind the flower, and that's how you know that it is a female flower. And then here we have one with a nice fresh flower. We can pollinate that today. This is another teeny tiny little pickle. So it has the teeny tiny little cucumber. But if you don't pollinate this, it will just wither up and fall off. It won't grow into the cucumber. So I'm going to take my male flower and I am just going to pull the leaves off, and you can just pop those leaves right in your mouth. They taste like cucumbers. They're pretty nice. And now I'm just left with with the stamens. We've got the pollen here. So I'm going to just take that. I'm just going to get this. Oh no, culantro. This is grabbed onto some dead culantro. We'll try and help it make some better choices after this. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to use it like a paintbrush. And if you look in, you can see the center of the flower. That's where we want to get all the pollen to go. Just give it a little twirl, bump them up against each other. And there's usually like way more male flowers than there are female flowers. So because we usually have a bunch of male flowers for every female flower, I can even do that with more than one, just to make sure we get good pollination. Just gonna rub it against it. And now if this were a strawberry flower instead of cucumber flower, I would take a little paintbrush and I would just brush from the outside in to try to redistribute the pollen. See, we've got this one, which must have been done like a few days ago, a week ago. I don't know. They're growing. Now, as far as tomatoes, the tomato flower goes, usually I have a fan on in here, and the fan will do most of the work for you. You might be able to get away with just the fan, but since we're showing you how to do this anyway, I can just find my flowers. These are tomato flowers. You just want to shake them a little bit. And then that drops the pollen down. They sell, you can come in with like a little vibrating brush and I'll do this as well, but just giving it that little flick is enough. And you can do that to your outdoor tomatoes too, if you just want to make sure that it's getting lots of pollination. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye!